it's me. So for this discussion, I had questions 3 and questions 4. Question 3 states, why do the authors see rituals as important spiritual interventions that often belong in spiritual care plans for patients at the end of life? In what ways might healthcare providers support patients' continuation or engagement in these personal rituals while in the hospital? So the book defines a ritual as any actions that speak to the soul and give deeper imagination whether or not it has practical effects. And it says that these rituals can be in religious manner, such as praying before going to bed every night, or it could just be anything the person has identified as important to that person that gives them meaning. The book goes on to talk about how rituals help provide meanings for those individuals, and it really kind of addresses the existential mystery that they are going through in their illness and can help facilitate transcendence, so that we should encourage these to happen. They see it as part of a spiritual care plan because it can help people to cope with what is going on, connect with others, connect with God, connect with their transcendence, and or regain control over the situation. If they're used to doing something as a ritual every night and they can't do that in the hospital, it may make them feel like they're out of control, and this is just another thing that their illness is causing. So for us as healthcare providers, it's really important for us to support this engagement in their rituals or whatever they would like to do. The book says that we can refer to a chaplain to make this possible. They're really good at doing this. And I think personally as an OT, we focus on adapting and modifying environments so that people with different illnesses and disabilities can complete what they want to. So I think this is right up our alley. We can adapt and modify the hospital setting to allow them to participate in their rituals. The question also wanted me to address the PowerPoint. I really like the PowerPoint's definition of rituals, that they give order to our lives as individuals and communities, showing us what we are part of larger order by using symbols or practices that are described as familiar. So then again, this is really helping regain control, give them back order to their life so they feel like they have meaning. And it also wanted me to address the video. I really liked the video. I liked how the chaplain encouraged all the participants of the fellowship to do these things on their own. They didn't necessarily have to be at fellowship. They didn't have to be with the chaplain. They could kind of grow and explore their own fellowship on their own, and I think rituals are a good way to do this. Regarding question 4, the question states, what do the NCP guidelines say about the use of religious or spiritual symbols in healthcare settings? What is your perspective on these guidelines? Have you observed any such symbols in healthcare settings? In what ways might these serve to open up exploration or positive, negative religious copings of your patients? So the book goes on to talk about how healthcare providers are encouraged to encourage their patients to use and display religious or spiritual symbols that are especially meaningful to those people, whether they're religious or not. If it's something that's meaningful to them, you should encourage them to express this. This is especially helpful during palliative care or time of death. I have seen during my personal experiences on field work many symbols, such as patients wearing crosses around their neck or having a Bible at their nightstand. So this is something that is commonly occurring, and I think it's important that healthcare providers facilitate this because they can help ease patients' distress and suffering and let them display their own religious symbols, so it kind of helps them support their own spiritual paths and can help them work on that transitions. It can support conversations that invoke meaning and help spiritually grow, and this growth can cause healing in the sense of healing, not necessarily curing. And so my perspective on these guidelines is yes, that we should follow these guidelines as long as we're maintaining ethics while doing so. Do not push your beliefs. Make sure you are just going along with what the patient wants, not pushing your own beliefs over top their beliefs. But overall, I think encouraging them to display their religiousness is a good thing, and it can help with spiritual health, healing, and growth of the individual and cause less suffering while in practice.